a.m., which is why I look like this. But, so I went to bed earlier today because it didn't feel good. My RC was amping up. My ankles felt like my feet were being twisted off. My knees felt like I had been hit by baseball bats. But I kept hearing rumblings in my ears. And so I thought, okay, I had mastoiditis that almost turned into meningitis last year. I thought, okay, what drainage? I've got water. Maybe I heard the neighbors playing bass music that reverberated up the hillside through the creek. You know, you just tell yourself these things. I can't sleep. Over the last couple hours, I've continually been hearing in the affected ear that had the mastoiditis like a rumble, shake, jar. But I don't hear it in this ear. So I switched my earbuds out, thinking, okay, we'll just do this and we'll see if it's a bad earbud. And this one again. And then I've noticed that for the last 2 hours, I've been drawn to videos about Taiwan and over in that area about missing people. And this man called Beast Mode or something like that that goes out and finds them. And no matter what I'm clicking on, my pages come up to China, Taiwan, Singapore, places I'm not normally watching videos about or of. And then about an hour ago, I hear a big, and I'm like, okay, it's not my earbuds. I'm like, it made me feel like I jarred. So I'm laying there, I'm really trying to go to sleep, thinking, oh, great, I'm going to have another huge issue with my ears. Here we go. The weather's changing, and here comes the mastoiditis again. And then I finally refresh my screen, and Dutch Sense comes on, who monitors earthquakes across the world. There have been 6.0 or more earthquakes in the last 3.5, 4 hours across the world. The biggest of all in China, but I guess they've all been kind of over there. There might have been one over in the Atlantic somewhere. I've not heard anything else. My knees are not hurting now. My feet are not hurting now. I feel fine now. But I'm a little wigged out and I don't want to sleep. Strange. So, if anyone else has had anything else happen strange tonight and has now seen the earthquake reports that as soon as they hit YouTube are being pulled, as soon as Dutch Sense showed the earthquake reports, they pulled it to private and then deleted the thing. I can only find 1 to 2 news medias that are now talking about them, only about the earthquake in China, but there's actually been 3 plus this evening. But they're pulling the information as quick as they're reporting it. I had no idea. I had no idea until just about 10 minutes ago. But I certainly have felt like crap for the last 4 hours, 5 hours. Horrible RSD pain. Just an uneasy feeling. And the jarring, like, horrible bass in my ear, this ear, when I thought it was my earbuds and switched them out, still happened 2 more times in this ear. And all evening, everything that's been coming up in my feed is about Eurasia, Taiwan, Singapore, the Philippines, people that hunt for people that are lost in the national parks and forests, catastrophes, tsunamis. It's all that's been coming up on my feed. And so I've just watched it because I thought, well, maybe this is coming up because I've watched AWP or other things. This is another rescue. And it was not that bad. I mean, the guy seems like a sweet man, and he goes and looks for people that's lost. And then I keep hearing this jarring. and it finally stops, but I have this horrible feeling. And so when I refresh my screen, I see a notification for Dutch Sense. And apparently today's been the busiest earthquake day in the last few hours, like 3 or 4 above 6.0, the biggest one that just struck about an hour ago in China, but they're pulling news media. So as soon as you see a story, it disappears. I get heebie-jeebie sometimes, and I have bone marrow in my ears where I should not have bone marrow. Like my ENT surgeon was like, I've never seen ear structure like yours, and I don't understand why your ears are formatted like this, and I don't understand why you have bone marrow in certain places. And so I have weirdly structured ears that are very sensitive, but I've never heard a sound like that. And so it really freaked me out because I was like, oh, great. Here I go again. I'm getting sick again. But it was more of a vibration. And I haven't had any fluid retention. I haven't had any fluid come out. And I haven't had any pain in my mastoid bone. And I haven't had any soreness in my neck. And I haven't run any fever. But it happened 3 or 4 times. And now that I've started to watch, when I saw Dutch Sense, apparently there had been 3 or 4 earthquakes. And they pulled that video. I found a secondary earthquake monitor guy, and he was talking about the big one that just happened about an hour ago, which was the last I heard in my ear in China, but that there had been a few before that, and today has had 3 or 4 6.0 or more, and it's been the weirdest earthquake day in the world. And now it's 2:17 a.m. and I don't want to go back to sleep. I haven't been to sleep yet, but I don't want to try to sleep. Strange. And I just thought I'd come on and share with anyone else who might happen to be awake right now and think that was strange, because that's strange. Yeah, I get funny vibes, and yeah, I pay attention to my Cherokee lineage, and my great grandma is, oh, pay attention to this, oh, if you see this, but I've never had something like this happen to me. Okay, you're in flare too. My flare just ended 10 minutes ago. My flare just ended. It's been fading for about 45 minutes, but it just ended about 10 minutes ago. But from about, well, I was starting to hurt pretty good at that live, which was why I was cantankerous. But all evening I've hurt really bad, and I sat in a hot Epsom salt bath for a while. It didn't help. I took a hot steam shower. It didn't help. So I finally told David, screw it, I'm going to bed. Like I'm sitting here in my jammies talking to people. So I thought, screw it, I'm going to bed. I don't feel good. And put my earbuds in. And I always try to leave an earbud in case one of the kids need me. They can always Facebook voice call me and wake me. Like I will wake up from the dead because I have an alarm set when they call to wake me up. So I always leave an earbud in, but I actually had been watching videos trying to distract myself from the pain in my body. And every video was about the beast mode or something other, about a guy that goes and rescues and finds like people that are lost hikers or people that have been lost and passed away, and he recovers their bodies. Tsunamis, horrible things happening in Singapore, the Philippines, Thailand, Taiwan, over in those areas. And 3 or 4 times I heard the, it was like, and it felt like, and honestly, it felt like my whole body was jarring. And I thought, oh, no, 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 I've got fluid moving in my screwed up ears, because my ears are so screwed up. And so I switched, after a couple of times, I switched my earbuds thinking, well, I'll see which one's screwed up and I'll get me some new earbuds. So I switched my earbuds thinking, okay, well, it'll do it in this ear this time. It did it again in this ear. So it wasn't my earbuds. And that's when I started feeling really strange. I was like, what is this? What is going on? What is, I don't have any fluid coming out. I don't feel any fluid. I don't have any, don't have any pain. And I'm like, what is going on? And then I just get the biggest urge to look back at my iPad and refresh my screen, and I see a notification from Dutch Sense, and it's like mega earthquakes worldwide, like 6 point something other just in China. And I click on it and I watch it for maybe 45 seconds, and then it goes private and then it's gone. And so then I'm trying to find news media, and I can't really find anything. But I do eventually find one more earthquake site, and he is talking about the one that just trying to, I guess, about an hour or an hour and a half ago, when I was hearing a bunch of the and there has been a few more today, and apparently they're all been 6 or above, so 6.0 or above, and it's been like the most lethal earthquake day in the world. Yeah. Well, y'all know what I've been talking about for 2 weeks. Y'all know where my brain's been and where I've been feeling and saying we better pull our heads out of our butts and we better be positive and we better be looking at the evil and recognizing the evil and looking for the good. I'm not going to get any sleep tonight. I didn't sleep much last night either. Um, I just thought this strange. I just thought this was so super strange. Uh, I've had funny feelings before. I had for 3 days, I had a funny feeling. And on the third day, it lifted, it alleviated. And we found out that about an hour and a half prior to that, a Cessna plane that was trying to fly over a ridge close to us had crashed and killed like all 6 or 7 people that was in it. Took them like 3 weeks to recover everyone. It was horrible because it was so rural. And I had like a 3 day wig out period before that where I told my husband something's not right, something's not right, I don't feel good, something's bothering me. He's learned to listen to me a little bit, I guess now. um, John, I think somebody's sending a message loud and clear, don't you? I think that too. Um, a few years ago, I had a really bad feeling like I was supposed to be helping somebody or somebody needed me. I didn't know what was going on. I just felt like this urgency, this anxiety that I was supposed to be helping somebody. And for 3 days, I was just miserable. And I told my husband, I just don't feel good. I feel like I'm supposed to be doing something. I'm supposed to be helping somebody. Somebody needs me. I don't know what's going on. I feel bad. And then about 30 minutes before he left for work, he said, how you doing? I said, it's gone. I feel fine. And now my great grandma was full blooded, she was like pretty much full blooded Cherokee. She was a weird woman. And my papa on my mother's side, um, I've been told many times that I'm like my papa's family, but nobody will elaborate on that very much, except for my granny, and she wouldn't tell me a whole lot, but she told me enough to know that they had like within 30 seconds of my papa dying, who he had like a spiderweb brain tumor. Within like 30 seconds of my papa dying, before my granny could actually call the funeral home to report that he had passed away because they were anticipating it, he was very ill. The phone rang and it was his brother, and he said, my brother just passed away, didn't he? And so I've always taken that stuff kind of like, people, people that are linked know these things about each other. That's love and energy. Um, but for 3 days, I had this really strong urge that I was like, somebody needed me, and I was failing someone, and it bothered me. And but 30 minutes before my husband went to work that day, it just lifted, and I was like, I'm fine. It's gone. He doesn't need help anymore. Whatever's, I think I said whatever it was, it doesn't need help anymore. And so my husband left, and he got about 3/4 mile up the road, and where there's this beautiful old stone house that had a garage out at the end of it, and used to be able to drive by and see the silhouette of deer and behind the rock house at the sunset, and it was always so pretty. Um, he saw a rescue squad in the driveway, and he used to be a rescue squad member, so he whipped in because he saw a lot of rescue squad. And he was like, are you guys okay? Do you need anything? They're like, no, 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 no. You don't do this anymore. You don't need to see this. Just go on. We appreciate you stopping, but we're good. And he's like, what happened? And apparently the old man had gone into his garage and tried to untarp his car, and it had pulled it out of gear somehow, and it had pinned him and crushed him. And he was there for 3 days before they found him, and he was passed away. And my husband said, when did you find him? And they said, about a half hour ago. And my husband called me and he said, yeah, so I think I know why you've had a few days not feeling good and why it stopped about 30 minutes ago. And then he told me what had happened. And so I've had weird stuff like that happen to me all the time. I wish I if I'm supposed to be in tune with something, I wish I was in tune enough to know how to step up and help. because I just feel weird and odd, and I don't really know what I'm supposed to do. But I'm having one of those weird, odd nights tonight, and I was having a lot of jarring in my left ear. Thought it was my earbuds, switched my earbuds. It's not my earbuds. We've only had one small earthquake here in Tennessee, and I was there's something on my front porch. I was in, it was on a Saturday, and I had just switched the laundry over and laid down in bed to like watch a movie or something. And the kids were older, so Lane had gone over to the barn. Haley was in the house, and we've had two small ones, but the one big one that scared us, my house was shaking, and I thought, oh my God, my washer is unbalanced. And then I thought, oh God, that's not my washer. And I hit the floor running, and I was like, Haley, and I grabbed my daughter and had her like hooked up under one arm, and I ran out in the front yard, and I screamed at the barn lot for Lane, and he was trying to shut the barn door, and he was like, Mom, and I was like, it's an earthquake, get your butt over here. And I was trying to get him away from all the trees or anything that could fall on him potentially. And then it stopped. We had one maybe 8 years before that where it just jarred. I thought David had rolled over in bed and made the light fixture. He had jarred the floor or the wall or something, made the light fixture above us go ta-ding, ta-ding, ta-ding. And I was like, stop moving. And he's like, I'm not moving. And then I jumped up, and by the time I had ran up the hallway and got both my kids underneath me, I was watching my deer heads turn sideways on the wall where they have those little hooks and holes in the back. And it was just enough to turn my deer head sideways on the wall. So all my deer heads were looking at me like this. And me and the kids slept in the living room, huddled together for the rest of the night because I couldn't stand to be away from them. So I was in mama bear mode. That was when they were tiny. So we've not really had a lot of experience with them here, just a couple times. Um, but it seems like the world is alive tonight. And for the last several hours, I have been sucked into that area of the world that's been experiencing this. Like literally everything that's come up in my recommendeds and everything I've clicked on to watch has been in that area of the world. And it's been about recovery of people after hiking losses, tragic events, tsunamis, natural disasters. And I've been like, okay, well, this is bound to be because I've watched AWP, or I've watched a lot of true crime and recovery of people that have passed. But it doesn't explain the jarring that I kept hearing, especially in my ear that's got this ear has some weird structure in bone marrow, but this is the ear that has the really weird structures and a lot of bone marrow where bone marrow is not supposed to be. And I have the fracture behind it in the mastoid bone. And so I just wanted to blame it on that, or my earbud. But when I switched earbuds, it did it again and again. And then I'm like, I got this a horrible urge to refresh my screen, to unlock and refresh my screen on my iPad, and Dutch Sense popped up. And as soon as I started watching it, I watched about 30, 45 seconds of it, and then it went blip off. I mean, it was gone. They took it off. And then I start searching immediately. I'm like, surely he wouldn't, because I don't think Dutch Sense would lie like that. So I start looking for news outlets reporting. Can't find anything, but I did find another earthquake site reporting the one that just struck China. And I'm just kind of like, what the crap is going on tonight? And is anyone else finding these stories? Or is it a fluke or somebody playing a horrible joke? Or am I just having a terribly off night with the heebie jeebies? Because I don't like the way I feel right now. So it's 2:30, and if 10 other of y'all are up, y'all, we're a pretty boring group. We should be asleep. Like, we're parents and older people. We should be asleep. And I have not been able to quiet my body down to sleep. Now, the flare and the discomfort I was having that lasted for about 6-7 hours alleviated about an hour ago, about 45 minutes to an hour ago. I don't feel that bad right now. It alleviated potentially about the time of the big earthquake in China. So I don't know. I just wanted to document, wig me out. So this is me documenting. I find this odd. Wouldn't necessarily believe anybody that told me this story. And so I'm just documenting because I don't at this point know what's going on. I can't find a lot of channels that are talking about it. So this is just me documenting. So if you find information or you find something else that has occurred, or if you find some reason close to me in Tennessee for me to be hearing these big vibrational booms in my ears that feel like they're shaking me, please leave me a comment when this loads, because I'm not enjoying this. Now my husband could sleep through a tornado. I mean, he's out. Um, but I feel like I should be perched on alarm, acting like a sniper out the window. I wonder your ears were. Oh no, my ears are screwed up. Well, they're not made right. And because they're not made right and they have different structures that are not supposed to be there, yeah, I often do hear bass and vibration and music differently than other people. In my hearing test, I always hear things that nobody else hears, especially when it's low vibrational stuff. And the lady that does the audiology test she always gets cracked up with me because I'm like, stop, 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 and I'm like, because that hurts. And she was like, you should not be able to hear that. And I was like, it hurt down here, and she gets a kick out of me. But this ear is really screwed up with a lot of bone structures and bone marrow that are not normal for human ears. And this one's a little screwed up, but this one's massively screwed up. And then I have this fracture on the mastoid where I had mastoiditis last year, and an old fracture that opened, and it's healing. But I have no fluid, nothing's drained, and I have no pain in my mastoid or back here in my neck to make me think that it's my mastoid acting up again. To think, so. But I do have terribly sensitive ears. I mean, like, I love bass, but there are certain vibrations and certain hertz levels that hurt me, and they hurt me down here. When I hear them, it vibrates and it hurts down here. And that's what that did. It hurt down here, but only on this side of my head, which is my more sensitive ear. And that's why I kept thinking it's my earbud screwing up. I blade on it, shorted something. Crap, I'm going to have to buy another freaking pair of these things. Switched them out, and it still did it. So I'm just kind of wigged. Just kind of wigged up. I'm wondering now if I was responding to like the vibrations or something. I mean, she wouldn't think it would be felt that far away, but heck. You were making chocolate strawberry milkshakes. Did that help you get the milkshakes made? Ugh. Yeah, Kim, I need some sleep. I've not had good sleep since the grandbaby was born, just because I'm a worrywart. And then I had company in, and I hiked at the hospital, and so my body has been kind of like upset with me because I overdid it for a few days. But I was in Mimi mode and the adrenaline, and I was happy about it. So I suffered for it today and this evening, with a lot of pain in my knees and ankles and feet. A lot of pain. I've been in the tub twice today with Epsom salt trying to stop the pain. And lay down and kept having to stretch my legs and rotate my feet and just move my ankles. Clara, I don't like. I definitely think that there are people that are super sensitive. Um, I'm not necessarily one to like go because of the Bible. I'm not necessarily one to go and be like, oh, the mediums and all this stuff, because I think there's a bad mojo to the majority of that. But if I go back to the Sixth Sense and like the historical teachings of the tribes, the Cherokee and the Lenape and the Delaware. There are definitely you definitely have a sixth sense. See, we're all having a bad night. We're all this is just documentation. We're all having a bad night. Um, and we're the ones that have the autoimmune, super sensitive, and weird things going on with our bodies. So I don't know. Normally, I would not share something like this. I would sit on it and just tell my immediate family. But I thought, no, that was weird. That was too weird for me to keep to myself. I'm going to come on here and talk about this because I don't know. I think maybe humanity is moving back into an age of enlightenment. I think we're moving back to paying more attention to the world around us and recognizing evil and good. Well, I was having a really weird night, Hillbilly Lives. I was having a really weird night, a lot of pain, and I kept going to bed, but I kept hearing a jarring in my ear. Thought it was my earbuds. Switched my earbuds, but it was still a jarring in my ear. Everything that's come up on my recommended on my YouTube channel tonight has been from Thailand, Taiwan, Singapore, China, somewhere over through there, about recovering people after they've gone missing or recovering bodies after they've gone missing and passed away from natural disasters, hiking disasters, tsunamis. And I just thought that was really strange, but I thought, well, I've watched too much AWP. I've watched too many people be recovered. It's just recommending. Turned it off, tried to lay there, couldn't go to sleep. Finally, my legs and body started calming down, and I just had this desire to refresh my screen, open up my iPad and refresh my screen. Dutchsinse, the earthquake guy, came on. I saw him do a link, pushed on it, saw that there had been like 3 major earthquakes, the last one in China, coinciding with when I was hearing the things in my ears, and my body pains alleviated right around the same time the one in China stopped. That it occurred and stopped. Now my body's doing halfway decent. Like the pain is subsiding. But I kept hearing this really weird in my screwed up ear, the one that had all the stuff wrong with it last year. I kept hearing this really weird vibration, and it would wake me. It felt like it was jarring my whole body and head. And I literally was just like, this is weird, because the link for Dutchsinse left. I watched 30, 45 seconds of it, and then it went to private, and then it was gone. Couldn't find any news media talking about it. Found one more earthquake channel talking about it, but he was just talking about the one that just happened in China, but said that there had been 3 others, and it had been the most active earthquake day that he had ever seen in the world, and they were all 6.0 and over the last few. So, just weird. Just weird. Well, I've always been kind of touchy. Always been kind of touchy. And I've had other strange things. If you rewind and watch this, it tells you about some other strange things that have happened to me. But I've never physically had my body like, and be like, because I thought, oh crap, here comes mastoiditis again. I would say more I'm spiritual more than I'm religious. Religion is man-made. I'm more spiritual. But yes, I'm a Christian, follower of Christ. And I do believe that we are right in the thick of things. I'm waiting for the fault to make the Mississippi run backwards again, and for Real Foot Lake to disappear, because it's not happened there in a long time, and we've been having a lot of small ones around Tennessee for the last couple of months. But I hadn't looked at that in weeks. I hadn't looked at that at least 3 or 4 weeks, because I've been on baby duty, and my brain's been on baby duty. So I don't know. It was just really weird the way things worked out. And so I just wanted to come on here and document. And apparently everyone else is up, because we're all feeling, if we have an autoimmune issue or this body issue like I have, or something similar, we're all up tonight because we've been in horrible amounts of pain. So it's weird. I don't get the high-pitched sounds, but I hear low hertz and vibrations and bass that jar so bad because of the bone marrow that's in all the extra places that my ears are not supposed to have, that it hurts me down here. And I still have a little bit of an open fracture in my mastoid that's healing, so it really hurts. So, I don't know. I just thought I'd hop on here and say, yeah, I'm going to document this, watch, see if it's true, or if somebody's playing a horrible joke, or maybe I'm just having a super bad body knot and it's wigging me out. But I'm documenting because this was weird. This was weird. I've never in my life had the jarring in my ear that I've had 3 or 4 times tonight, though. Even with all the mastoiditis. Now I've had blip, 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 and you've heard water move, but this was a it was like, whoa. So I've never had that happen, but I don't have, like, my ears are fine. I'm here to tell you, I don't know. This is weird. This is weird. Like, if somebody come and tell me this, I'd be like, aren't you sweet? But now it's happening to me, and I'm like, I'm not ever going to discredit anyone's feelings ever again. Like, I've always kind of been a sixth sense kind of vibey person, but I've never had something this weird, that pronounced happen to me physically. Like, I get weird vibes, but I've never had my body like, see? Okay, well, everybody else document tonight. If something strange happens, document. Or at least come back to this comment section when this loads and put it in the comment section. If you find links on these earthquakes to verify what I saw that disappeared, put links below. I'm just curious now because normally, if something bothers me, I found out 3 or 4 days later probably what was kind of in the air. I've never had something like smack me in the face like this. So, Kim, I'm about scared too. It's like praying for patience. You never know how you're going to be taught. I'm, well, I don't ride a lot of roller coasters, but it felt like somebody had put a base right here and jarred my whole inside of my head and ear. And that's why I thought initially it was my earbud fritzing and it was like amplifying something wrong. And so I switched, but it wasn't. One in Afghanistan an hour ago. See, and that river's drying up, and that's Revelation. When the river dries up, that the giants that were the giants, the angels that were harnessed under earth will be released. That's part of Revelation. Yeah, John. Yeah. Yeah, I've been on an energy positivity, better walk away from the evil kick for a few weeks now. Y'all know that. So, see, you saw Dutch Sense's post too. What happened to it? Because it went black and then it disappeared on me, cowgirl. Where did it go? Can you see it now? Is it back up? Because it disappeared on me and I was like, where the crap is the link? Dutch Sense, he's never like done that before. Freaked me out because I was watching it and then it blacked out and went to private and then it disappeared. Well, I guess in the last like 3 to 5 hours, there's been 3 monsters, 6.0 and above. But today's been one of the most active days. Dutch Sense is a guy that watches earthquakes worldwide and the patterns. And I watch him a lot because I live in Tennessee, next to Oak Ridge, next to the fault that made the Mississippi run backwards for a week. And I'd like just a little bit of heads up if it makes Oak Ridge blow and, I'm going to see a really bright light and then go meet Jesus. I would like just a hair's breadth of knowing. So I watched Dutch Sense. But yeah, I don't know whether, I hope he puts it back up. But what I watched went private and then went black and then my screen froze. I see. That's when I went back and looked, and it's like 4+ hours ago. But no, he was live right before I come on here. He did like a cow caps lock, major earthquakes, 3 worldwide in the last blah 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 6.0 and above, and then had a big ring on China. And then I think so. They said something about like the Mid-Atlantic, and then China, and then somewhere else over there. But it went black. I was trying to watch the map as it rotated the Earth as it rotated around on his screen, and it went black to private, and then poof, and then my screen froze, and I had to close YouTube and open it back up. Was there anything on his community post? I just thought it was so weird. Weird. Well, sadly, I don't have any livestock here anymore, so I don't have that. I don't have any like immediately around my house. I'd have to go down the road to the farm to the Farmer Smith. I've only got my little dog, and he's 9-10 years old, so he might as well be furniture. He doesn't understand Pakistan and Afghanistan. My cats have been lethargic today, like super lethargic today. Like so, and they're like half feral because they're barn cats. They've been like so lethargic that I've pet some that have never been pet before. So I was like, y'all are really calm today. You're really trusting today. That's great. So yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to document. I noticed now that everyone else is awake. I find that really strange because y'all are, we're pretty much an older crew. We like to sleep. So I'm going to go and keep pulling links. Claire, you're behind in the video. That's okay. You'll catch up. Well, that's what I am. Either I'll wake up tomorrow and I'll figure it out, or I'll wake up tomorrow and I won't have to worry about it ever again. But I've never had such a weird evening. Yeah, my cats are feral. Like they're half feral. Like they're the ones that my older cat brings in that never tame, and they live at the barn. But today they were all hugging the house and super laid back and lethargic, and let me pet them. And I was like, and I'd never touched 2 of them before, and I was like, wow, that's weird. Oh, the link to Dutchins' last post is working now. Good, he's uploaded again. Okay, everybody go watch it. I find it extremely weird. I'm going to go watch it again, and I'm going to put my earbuds back in. And if I hear anything else go in my ear, I'm going to document on my community page. And if y'all see anything else funny, comment when this video loads in the comment section, because I'm sorry. It's freaking weird. And hey, I'm wide open. I just want to know what in the crap's going on. And I guess y'all do too. So I'll upload anything else that happens. You all do the same. And otherwise, try to get some sleep. See you tomorrow, hopefully. Bye, guys.